Let's update you now on the ANC ahead of their big conference over the weekend. The party saying it's put in place mechanisms to process those parts of the State Capture Commission report that relate to the organisation, its employees or members. This comes from the ANC's head of policy, Radebe. He spoke today about corruption and state capture. It's part of the party's discussion documents ahead of their policy conference, which of course gets down to business on Friday morning. Our reporter Mohlaoli, he was at Luthuli House. He joins us now. Tumaole, good afternoon to you. What is the ANC? What's Radebe? What are they saying about this issue?
Well, Stephen, Radebe very, very firm by saying that in terms of the issue of those who are implicated in the State Capture Commission of Inquiry, the ANC is not in any kind of conflict in terms of its position that those who have a case to answer to must face the full might of the law. And if indeed they are holding office or public office, they have then to step aside. A question was put very directly to Radebe about what seems to be a confusion around this, step aside rule, and whether some regions coming out very strongly to say that the step aside rule is something that needs to be relooked. He says no, it certainly won't be relooked because this would give the wrong indication that the ANC is backtracking. He says that the policy conference will then review what this means and how these particular instances where there seems to be some kind of contradictions in terms of what is coming from the ground and what the ANC at NEC level is saying, how those are amended and how the party can move forward. But certainly when it comes to state capture, the party is saying that it will not backtrack because it wants to clean up house internally, and all processes, including the prosecutions of those who have a case to answer to or may have a case to answer to before a court of law, must go ahead. But let's listen to what Radebe had to say.
With the submission of the final report of the State Capture Commission on the 22nd of June 2022, the African National Congress has embarked on a process to examine the Commission's findings and recommendations and to develop our organization's response. While detailing the nature, the extent and the scope of state capture, the report also makes critical findings about our organization, the ANC, the government that it leads, and individual ANC members. At its meeting of the 2nd to the 4th of July 2022, the ANC's National Executive Committee noted that some of the observations and findings are unsettling for the ANC. But we said that this organization must deal honestly and openly with all aspects of the Commission's report.
Tumaole, Radebe speaking as head of policy today. He also chairs an ANC task team to deal with the Zondo Commission inquiry. He also, many years ago, in government, chaired a committee of ministers to deal with the Waterkloof landing. No one was really held responsible for that. Someone was punished by being made an ambassador. Has he explained how things are going to be different this time around?
Well, certainly what Radebe explained, how things are going to be handled differently in terms of what the past mistakes have been and what seems to be a failure to hold people to account, as the ANC seems to be saying now it will do, is that the ANC has got internal processes and everything has to be done in terms of a concerted effort when all parties are brought together and they agree on the way forward. He seems to be giving the impression that everyone is agreeing on the way forward where this is concerned, because South Africa has to turn around. This also speaks to South Africa trying to clean up house, and the leading party in terms of the party that is in power currently, the ANC, wanting to be seen to be leading that charge of a social change after the state capture year. So this has been Radebe's attitude towards that particular question, saying that, of course, the policy conference will then guide how this process goes forward. But it seems to be very firm that going forward is the only way, and that it would not backtrack on any of the decisions and recommendations it has taken with regards to the state capture.
So there's a lot to come this weekend. Is the ANC actually ready?
The ANC says it's ready. In fact, what is going to happen is that media is going to be given a tour, so to speak, or a walkthrough, so that everyone understands what needs to happen. So this gives an indication that the ANC is now saying that it's all systems go, and that the media should just expect what needs to happen will happen on time or as it's meant to happen. We do know that, of course, with these large meetings of the ANC, there can be some unforeseen delays with politicking happening all around. However, the ANC is saying that it will stick to its timeframes, and it is anticipating this will be a successful policy conference. That remains to be seen.
Tumaole Mohlaoli, thank you very much indeed. Part of our team, of course, covering the policy conference over the weekend. More tonight when the President speaks at a gala dinner. Well,